Hey folks, Kevin the editor here. This is video number 4 in a series of coverage from the Chamber of Commerce's Candidate Forum held on Tuesday evening, April 23rd, 2024 at the Cedartown Performing Arts Center. Parts 1 through 3 covered the county commission candidates. If you mean to watch those first, head over on polktoday.com to find the full list of video coverage from the event. This part includes questions answered by District 6 Board of Education candidate Drew Williams, who was the only school board candidate on hand to participate in the forum. Candidates and voters both have another chance on Thursday evening, April 25th, 2024, from 6 to 8 p.m. to participate in the second candidate forum being organized by the Chamber of Commerce. Grab a beverage, get comfy, and don't feel bad for pausing for bathroom breaks. We'll have one more video from the coroner's race to cover as well.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Polk County Chamber of Commerce Candidate Forum. We are going to begin with School Board Candidate for District 6, Paul Drew Williams Jr. Christina Robinson is also running, but Christina was unable to attend tonight due to family illness, but does plan to attend the April 25th Candidate Forum at the Rockmart Theatre. Drew, we'll begin with your questions. What motivated you to run for the school board, and what specific experiences or skills do you bring to the table that would benefit the school district?
Honestly, the decision was made an hour and a half before qualifications were up, and it was more out of a disappointment that we don't have more interaction in our community from community volunteers in these roles. As you can see here, I've heard it's a thankless position, that why would you want to do this? Why do you want to get involved? It's a headache, and this is coming from reputable people in our community. And one of the reasons I decided to step up and get more involved is that I'm a son of retired Polk School District employees. My dad taught for 30 years at Rockmart High School. My mom retired from Polk School District. I'm a graduate of Rockmart High School. I'm a father of 2 daughters, one who has graduated, one who's a senior this year, and future granddaughter will be enrolled in elementary school, and a spouse to Polk School District employee and teacher. Getting involved and being present is probably one of the biggest things that people lack these days. Is we get a lot of the opinions and we get a lot of the disgruntledness, especially with social media. However, nobody wants to get involved and take action. I've always been one of those that if I get involved in anything, I'm going to give you 110% of everything that I've got and make it special, make it memorable. And I feel that part of my success in life has come from being a Christian, being raised in a family environment, through this school system around my parents who were teachers, as well as their friends and co-workers who were teachers. And I feel that I've been blessed as a member of this community because of what this community put into me. And I feel that I'm at a point in my life where I can give back and have input due to my success in this community to hopefully improve the situation of the kids' lives that are attending these schools. As far as skills or experiences that I have, I'm a self-employed business owner. I've been a real estate appraiser for 25 plus years. And a real estate appraiser's job is to determine value. And although it may be on fixed real property, my day is involving determining what brings the most value to a property. Crunching numbers, return on investment, what things do you put into property to bring the best return in value? So, crunching numbers, that on a daily basis for lenders, banks, and communities, property owners. Determining value for property is one thing, determining value in individuals is another.
Thank you.
Okay. I didn't know I was still held to the same line.
Yes, we'll still apply the same time limit to everybody, even if your candidate was unable to attend tonight.
All right.
The next question is, how do you envision the role of the school board in supporting student success? And what strategies do you have for improving student achievement and closing achievement gaps?
I think there again, it takes a village to raise our kids. And being a teacher these days, not to be in a negative sense, it's also a thankless position that has taken on more aspects, not just as a teacher, but at times a mentor, a counselor, even parental roles that teachers take on these days. I would like to think that through communication, I could hopefully add a positive environment for parents to be involved, encourage our kids to be more involved, and create a more positive environment for the situation that we put our teachers in and our students in.
Thank you. Next question is, and it kind of follows through with those, how do you plan to engage with parents, teachers, and the community to ensure their voices are heard in decision-making processes?
I think we've got to encourage all of those aspects to get involved, to be present, to not sit on the sideline and be disgruntled, but also be a cheerleader and involved in supporting teachers, supporting the students, supporting the parents. I'm old school. I grew up with my dad as a teacher, and he had the support of administration behind it, and he also had the support of parents in their role in their kids' lives. And today it's harder for teachers to take on that role sometimes because you are up against parents who may be defensive in the way that you are interacting with their kid outside of teaching. So I think if we encourage everyone to be more involved with a positive attitude and an open mind of what everybody's job is and role in their child's life, I think we can make a lot of positive changes.
Thank you. Hate to hit you with all of these back to back, but we're going to keep on going. The perception of administrative bloat has become a hot topic in public education nationwide. Do you feel that this is happening in Polk County? And how would you address challenges related to budget constraints and funding shortages?
Everything it seems these days is related to money and funding. Is there administrative bloat? Possibly. I haven't looked into the budget. I haven't looked into the numbers enough to make a decision on that personally. As long as there is adequate funding for these positions, by all means, we need to fund those positions. However, I do believe in accountability. And if a person in a position is not carrying their weight, we need to reassess how we are hiring and firing practices, track record of holding our employees in the school system to a higher standard. And everything these days is expensive. We see it all the time in everything that we spend money on. And when you're spending somebody else's money, of course, everyone's going to have questions of how that money is being spent. And from the outside looking in, it's easy to get caught up in who makes what and what their job title is, and making decisions on if that person is or is not doing the job that they're being paid for. If elected, I would go into the job with an open mind, but a realistic accountability of, if you're gonna fill a position in an administrative position, go above and beyond, do the extra stuff, be the overachiever that we need, that we've always had in individuals in administration and our local employees who have typically been members of our community living here. But there's no reason we shouldn't. I mean, everything's red tape these days with government involvement in schools. It takes more people to make decisions. I can always remember my dad toward the end of his career. He did not enjoy the extra paperwork that was coming with government involvement. And it was something that he felt as a teacher, it was pushed on him, but he just wanted to teach. He wanted to interact with the kids. So part of our administrative bloat potentially is because government restraints and government putting guidelines on the school system to meet their guidelines and meet their needs.
Thank you, Drew. This ties in with the previous question as well. How do you plan to allocate resources effectively to support student learning and well-being?
One, assess the budget, see what the needs are, see where the money is. And, you know, I'll be honest, I'm agreeing, I haven't looked at the budget or the funding. But basically holding accountable our administrators and our staff to do what's best for the kids. Make choices that are putting the kid first, not necessarily the way things look or a structure or building, but putting the kids' education first.
Thank you. What are your thoughts on a 4-day school week versus a 5-day school week?
Haven't made a final decision on it yet, but in the questions that I have been asking and polling, and have gotten from community members, some of the first calls I got when they found out that I was running for school board was, we need to be back in school 5 days a week. And part of that is just, you look at the overall aspect of it. Is that day off beneficial to the children in class? Is it beneficial to the educators and the administration to have that extra day? And ironically, you would think that it's tough teaching children 5 days a week. It's hard to interact with kids 5 days a week. And you would think that some of those employees or teachers would say, that Monday gives me time to catch up, gives me time to plan. But I haven't had a single teacher come to me and say, we need to stay on 4 days. Every one of them has said, we need to go back to 5 days. Our kids are falling behind because of the lack of school time on that 5th day. I've also asked if there is budgetary reasons why we are not going to school 5 days a week. Does it help with fuel costs, running buses? Does it help with utilities, not having students? And the answer I continue to get is it doesn't outweigh the kids being in class on Mondays, 5 days a week. One of the administrators I talked to said that it's hard to get kids to be interactive on Mondays, that first day back to school, even if you have Saturday and Sunday off. He said, now we're struggling with that kid being in an environment Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then getting them back into a school mentality on Tuesday. And then by Friday, you're just starting back over. So if I had to make a decision right now, the consensus that I'm getting is we need to have the kids back in school 5 days a week.
Thank you. Are there any existing policies that you would like to see changed at this moment?
None that I can think of at this point, other than the 4 days versus the 5-day school week. I believe that the 5-day school week would benefit our students the best.
Thank you. And the final question for tonight. If you are elected, would you support a school tax exemption for senior homeowners?
I've gotten this response from several community members who fall in this category, and they say that in other counties, they don't have to pay this. When you're a senior citizen, you don't have to pay the taxes for school. We don't have kids in the school system. Why are we having to pay for that? I would love to see a day when we could have seniors that are exempt from paying school taxes. It goes into the same questions that a lot of the county commissioners were involved in. It's funding. Our teachers need to be paid more. We're lower as compared to several counties around us, and we're going to start losing teachers if we don't increase their pay and incentive to stay in Polk School District. We have an individual in one of our schools who has decided to not renew their contract, and they are taking a job in a neighboring county. They are dropping a coach's supplement and taking that job in another county and making more money as just a teacher. So it doesn't come down to just money. A lot of our teachers take pride in this county and the kids that are involved in this school system. But at the end of the day, you've got to have funding. And until we make some hard decisions, whether it's increasing the millage rate to increase teacher pay, possibly making some choices with expenditures, and cutting, certain things that we could cut to increase teacher pay. But at the end of the day, at this point, until I see the budget or see what the future budget proposals are, I'm not sure that we could have seniors not paying taxes at this point, but I think in an ideal world, you absolutely give those seniors the benefit of not having to pay taxes, but we do need to increase our teacher pay.
Thank you. That concludes the school board candidates. As a reminder, Mr. Paul Drew Williams Jr. is running for District 6, and Christina Robinson is also running for District 6, and she was unable to attend tonight due to family illness, but will attend April 25th at the Rockmart Theatre. So if you are able to attend, please join in. School board candidates that we included as well that evening would be District 5, that is Greg Teens and Jeff Hawkins. Both were unable to attend tonight, but they both will be in attendance on April 25th, the candidate forum at the Rockmart Theatre. And then of course, District 3 is Rita Carter.
This brings a close to part 4 of what's looking like 5 videos from the Chamber of Commerce's candidate forum held on Tuesday evening, April 23rd, 2024. Tune in on polktoday.com for the final part, along with 3 prior parts of this series from Tuesday's event. I'm Kevin, the editor. Thanks for watching this Polk Today coverage from the candidate forum.